Well, yeehaw, little doggy! Hello, 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 and welcome to Not Shenaniganelandia. Yes, that's right. We are here in Western Wyatts. Western Wyatts. This is our new park. This is a mini park, mini series, mini park that we're gonna do that is strictly highlighted around. Where I booked the mic. A mini park designed for kids, I guess you could say. Think about it like as a family entertainment center with a little roller coaster. Like that's kind of the vibe we're going for. Maybe we'll do like a mini kiddie coaster. But yeah, this is all around the Western Park. If you haven't seen our build and buy video that we posted yesterday, definitely check that out. This is all the pieces that are included inside of the Western package that you kind of get, or that we get with this build, or with the new updates. That's super exciting. And here we are, we're building a coaster. We're naming it Bandit. This is going to be inside of our little Western park. And as you can see, we've got a big path that kind of wraps around in a circle there. That is strictly there to keep us within the boundaries of kind of what we're going for size-wise. Again, this is not going to be a big park. That is not the intention. We're going to keep it tiny. We're going to keep it tight. We're going to make it look amazing. So we're building this coaster with the intention that it is a, I don't know, maybe it's a CCI or it's a an early gravity group. I'm thinking probably more CCI though. And this coaster, the intention is that it's a little whippity thingy. That's it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's, I don't know, like Switchback, ZDT Switchback kind of energy. I don't know. I really haven't figured it out. But it's a basic, simple coaster. Nothing too crazy. Keeping it simple. Keeping it easy. We obviously went with like this ashy kind of wood because, again, you're in the middle of Texas. Like if you look at Switchback and ZDT, the wood is practically gray. That's how dead it is, right? So that's what we're going for here. We're going kind of for that energy. As we're building this out, the first thing I'm thinking is how do we create something that is a good like perimeter hugger, right? But also has like a really fun little layout and keeps it quick and snappy. I love quick and snappy coasters. It's literally my bread and butter when it comes to my coaster enthusiasm. Give me a quick and snappy, like a Mystic Timbers, like a Twisted, not Twisted Apple, Twisted Timbers, Twisted Cyclone. I mean, I can go down the line, but I like it short and snappy. Give me lower hills, lower to the ground. Give me off-axis jumps and bumps and boops and whatnot, and that's what I went after with this kind of coaster. As we were building out like this moment here, we're trying to figure out how are we filling out this section, and again we run into this height issue with the pathing. So frustrating, to be honest with you. So we just had to make it clean and clear, and that's what we did. We went super basic with the entrance layout as far as like the pathing goes. And then I realized I had to move the exit over. So the priority entrance and the exit are next to each other. And then it's kind of set up so that this queue runs all through the inside. And again, this is a low budget park. I'm talking like we're going to make this look as jank as all hell with very basic, like there's a facade. That's it. You got a trailer, right? And that trailer houses your food and your tickets. Like we're gonna keep it super basic. And that's the whole idea here. I don't want to go too over the top. We're gonna have a bunch of flat rides with giant pads apparently, but it's fine. We'll figure out what that'll look like. But again, I want it to be a mixture of all concrete or mostly concrete or asphalt with like hints of dirt. Right? Because we're going to make this like we're in Texas, right? Rodeo, Texas. We're going to make it like we're in Texas. And the whole idea is that it's just a very basic park. And you're going to see this build and you're going to be like, oh, this looks really jank. That's the point. I want it to look and feel jank. You're going to have an entry moment where you walk in. There's the overpass of the coaster. We're going to have a parking lot off to the left. Maybe we'll do like a gas station and a convenience store over to the right, I'm thinking, keeping it really fun. But again, we are stepping now outside of the Planko world, right? And I want to build this world up to feel very much like it's realistic. And that's the goal, right? Obviously using some Planko features, of course. But keeping it basic, keeping it simple, and that's the idea. If you saw, as you saw in the intro, we did build out an entrance and an exit portion. One is a saloon, one is a jail. That's all this is getting. The building itself, or the station itself, it's going to have a very basic setup for the station. I'm not trying to be too dramatic. You know, I'm just going to have a little bit of fun with it. And trying to make it as basic as possible. It's a basic wooden coaster with a basic building. You know what I mean? And I am going to use ZDT's Switchback as our example of kind of what the station's going to look like. I definitely want to steal that kind of energy. Here we are, we're looking at, I did like a whole build and buy video, like I said, and we were looking at some of those pieces in the game. And that is definitely one of those pieces we'll probably throw in here somewhere. I don't know if we will, maybe we will. I don't know if we're going to go that detailed. I don't think it's going to be that high end. I really think it's going to be just like stock lights, like on a pole pointing down. Like that'll be the whole look, right? I love the new pieces. There's so many great pieces that are brought back that we needed, like these brick pieces, which you're going to see us using it as curbs. And then some of the wood trim pieces we use here, we also use as curb covers as well, because I don't love the curbs in the game. You know what I mean? I get why they're there, but like we need to remove the curbs from the game and let us build our own curbs if we want them, right? That's just my opinion. Take it for what it is. So with that being said, what we're looking at here is we're looking at kind of like a very simple layout. I want to say we're looking at maybe 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 flat rides, the big coaster, the small coaster, and then a couple of supporting buildings. That's the entire build. I'm not going bigger than that. Again, it's a mini park. The idea is to keep it short, sweet, and simple. And that's kind of what we wanted to go after. And I think we pulled this off. For the most part, I made it feel how I wanted it to feel, or at least the start of it, right? And I think as we build this out a little bit further, maybe we'll put in a mini go-kart track. There you go. We're gonna put in a go-kart track in this build too. Maybe that'll be one of the next builds we put in here as we start to like maneuver and build out kind of what this looks like. I want to have a very jank ticket selling section, ticket taker, single booth. Ticket taker. That's it. When I went to ZDT's, I walked into that building. It was like walking into a family entertainment center where it's like a counter with the prizes for the video games. Do you know what I mean? And that's the person that sold you your ticket to get in. The gag, right? So we had a really good time playing with that, or playing with this idea and kind of, building it out. I wanted the facades to look very cartoony. Because again, these two facades are the only two major themed elements that we're going to see in this park. The rest of it's going to be very basic, like mom and pop little theme park. And I bought a coaster. You know what I mean? I had an extra couple $1,000s, which, by the way, ZDT's is selling Switchback now. It's now officially on the market. So it's crazy to me to think that this is happening, but whatever. So here we are. We made a simple sheriff's thing. We threw up the sign on there. We made for our saloon a nice little balcony. Again, this is one of those balcony pieces from the new kit. Again, this entire park, my goal is to build anything that's scenic with just the Western kit. Obviously, we've got all these great elements that we can layer in. There are these suitcase pieces. There's the whole train setup. Maybe we put in just a set of train tracks somewhere, but it's just the tracks because this park would not have the money to pay for a locomotive to sit on the train track. It wouldn't happen, right? Love these stairs. These are super fun. And again, these are a different version of what we've got in the Viking kit, like with the jetty stairs. These are definitely wider and they're larger. And I like the look of them. And again, we kept with the green and the brown kind of story here for this building. I like this color, this colorway. And look at them. They just get off the coaster. They get right back on. I love it. We don't have an information booth in yet. And we'll put that in probably in the next episode as we build out along the coaster facade towards the front. Maybe that will be our next episode. We'll kind of build out all of that. But again, this is a mini series. We're not going big on this one. These are great because this is actually in real. I went to Calico, if you're familiar with Calico Mine Company, or Calico from Knott's Berry Farm, I went to the actual ghost town of Calico in California, or in Nevada. I think it was in Nevada. We stopped on the way from Vegas to California. We stopped at Calico in the middle. And when I tell you, it was the most insane thing I've experienced. But yes, those wooden planks along the road exist. You walk on the wooden planks along the buildings on one side, and then the dirt road in the center is where the wagons and the horses were. Like, I mean, I'm not kidding you. This is straight out of a Western movie. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And that's what we're mimicking here. That's the idea. That's the energy we're creating. Again, there was a lot of aloe plants, a lot of cacti. I pulled from the, I think it was the Mediterranean kit, the what is it called? Tumbleweed? The dead bush, right? So we pulled the dead bush out. We got the dead bush in there as well. And then here I was trying to figure out how I wanted to go after the build and the lighting specifically. And we put in these hanging lanterns and the other lanterns on the other side. Again, it feels a little cartoony because it's supposed to. That's the intention of these two buildings. The next set of buildings that I plan on putting in between here is going to be something a little bit more like modern feeling, that's realistic, right? Here we are trying to name it. I am going to change this sign because right now it says Bandit on the sign. I think I'm going to build out a sign that says Bandit just to give it a little bit extra. One of our viewers yesterday was like, I don't like the sign upside down. I didn't understand what he meant. Or they meant, and then I got it and we flipped it over and we all agreed that the sign upside up was the better way. So thank you for that suggestion. I think you hit the nail on the head. This little bandit sign though, this needs to change. I don't love how it's in the font. Zelet Pado, or whatever the font is. I don't love it. Here we are using the wood from the new kit as path covers. And again, like, look at this. It's just, this is exactly what we want. Thank you, Frontier, for finally listening and finally giving us what we were looking for. I think this is going to be a fun build. I think it's great. I hope you guys like the coaster. As we finish wrapping up the rest of this build, we will have some glamour shots for you. We'll have a POV at the very end, so stick around for that. And until the next one, guys, thank you so much for joining. I hope you guys like the new series. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And until the next one, keep on building. Thanks, everyone. Ciao.